Hello and welcome back to Jacqueline Marie's Art. Thank you for joining me today. And today I wanted to talk about something that is called the ride or die chick or the ride or die woman. So I hear about this a lot, or I used to hear about this a lot. Um, I don't know if they call it something else nowadays, but or even if the term has died down because it might be an old word, but still, the mentality remains. So if you are a ride or die chick, you might not call yourself that, but you are the ride or die chick basically is someone I believe that sacrificed themselves for their man. Okay, so before we go any further, I just want to ask you guys to like, subscribe, share. It helps the channel to grow, and it lets me know that you enjoy the content. So if you do enjoy the content, please do that for me. Thank you. All right, so let's get into this. So the ride or die chick, I believe, is a woman or girl or whatever that sacrifices her life for her man, usually the wrong man. So what is this lifestyle all about? Because it says you ride or die for this guy, or basically ride and die for this guy. This guy is like the most important thing in your world. But if you are dying for somebody, not literally per se, I believe you are also neglecting some things for yourself. Meaning that, in your life, I believe in the ride or die chick's life, or let's just say the ride or die woman's life. The man that she is seeing is the most important thing in her life. So he will come first. He generally comes before you. So this means that, if this guy is bad news, and they usually are for you, that is, you are going to give him, pretty much your all. Like, let's say you get with this ride or die chick from you are 19. You will put up probably with a lot that you shouldn't be putting up with and getting very little in return. You'll be with him. Let's say you got with him at 19. You are now 35. So all those years you were with that guy, you didn't get a ring. You are probably not married to the guy. You probably had kids for him, and you do not have a stable life with a man that's dedicated to you. In some old scenarios, like in some hip hop, excuse me, in some hip hop music videos, it would show like women that hold drugs for their men when their men go off to jail, or you know um if there's like a shootout, the woman is with him. If they get arrested, he gets arrested, you get arrested with him. These are just some of the extremes, that explains this. Or, no matter what he's going through, he's usually a self destructive dude, and he's destroying your life right along with it. But no matter what, you are still holding on to this guy because obviously, you slept with this guy. So what's really cementing you together is the sex, because sex glues people together, like I always say on this channel. But a lot of times they're glued together incorrectly, in the wrong context. It's sex out of marriage, it's not your husband, and you've made a dedication to a man that has not necessarily dedicated himself to you, because the man that you're riding or dying for, he usually have other women, I would assume, on top of you. So he's not dedicated to you in the proper way. He's not marrying you. He possibly, a lot of times, a lot of ride or die guys that you ride or die for, they don't have proper jobs. They might fall into the hustle category. Or sometimes you even ride or die for somebody who is a married man. You get tangled up with him through sex, and you can't let the man go. I remember a long time ago, I was listening to, well, not that long ago, I was listening to a story about a woman that she was dating a married man, and she probably had like 50 abortions for the guy. So no matter what happened, she was riding or dying. She and her babies were riding or dying because all the babies are dead for somebody's husband, you know? So it could get really murky. So this is why women, it's important that when you date, so you do not end up becoming a ride or die chick, because um a lot of men are very sexy. Women are sexy. We know that already. It's women are seductresses. But men have that bravado, that masculine appeal, that when women get with them, a lot of women, this is why it's important when you start dating women, it is important to date differently. On this channel, we encourage women to date, or I should say it's really my channel, but hopefully you all feel the same way I do. You start feeling this way. Encourage women to date without having sex, because the sex is what's trapping a lot of people in the wrong setups, the wrong relationships with the wrong man. Or I single out women per se because men tend to handle these things a little better, even though it darkens the man. It makes the man cold. And I don't want to say heartless, but it just turns them into in some sort of a monstrous person. It just makes them mean. It makes them a taker, and it makes women a givers, and they just get taken from, and then they don't end up getting anything really for their time, and women end up investing a lot of their time. So, the sex out of marriage scenario, it makes women into givers and men into takers, where it's really supposed to be the opposite. The man is supposed to do the giving and you are the receiver. But when you start having sex with guys you're not married to, it becomes a case where you are the giver. You end up in the masculine role. You're chasing after the guy. So on this channel, I try to discourage women from having sex during the dating phase. The dating phase is not a time to be having sex, but this is how people date nowadays. They date, and in 1 to 2 days or the same week, they're having sex. It happens really quickly. The dating phase is to interview somebody, is to interview men. You are not supposed to get dressed up overly sexy and go on a date and try to seduce him with your breasts or anything hanging out, because he will be seduced. It's very easy to do that. That's the easy part. The hard part is keeping yourself covered up, still looking beautiful, keeping your legs closed, and just dating multiple people at once just to see who is the best fit for you to be your husband. Because that's really what dating is supposed to be. The dating phase is for you to get to know someone, to see if you are compatible, if you have a chance, to be together in the long run. So when you introduce sex into the mix early on, in the dating phase, this is how you could end up becoming a ride or die chick, where you really are dying, not literally, but you really are. Your life is dying, meaning that you're caught up with this man. You've had sex with him, so the glue is intact in the wrong way, and you don't want to lose him. So whenever he calls, you're at his whim. You spring up to see him, you fix up yourself, you look really nice. At this point, you're doing all that you can to hold on to him. And the more you have sex with him, the more you become cemented into this dysfunctional situation that you should have never been in the first place had you not slept with him. You are just doing things, you're giving, he's moving into your apartment, possibly. These are just scenarios of how things progress in certain scenarios. This is not a one size fit all. You're hiding drugs for him. You're holding guns in your house. I'm just saying, these are like extremes. You know what I mean? So, you are just shacking up with some guy for like 5 years, no ring, no marriage in sight. At the time being, you could have a few kids, and your life is just going past with no real commitment in sight. You're not becoming what you should be, which is a wife. He might not really have a proper job. He's like in the hustling scene, and your guy is a hustler, and that's your guy, and you will do whatever it takes, to hold on to him with this shim sham of a life that you have gotten. So all the sex early on in the relationship or early on in the dating phase could lead you into the ride or die lifestyle. That's why in a lot of hip hop videos they always glorified Bonnie and Clyde. Were those real people? I don't even know. Or was that just like a movie characters? They were real, right? Somebody could tell me. Okay. They were always glorified in films. And this is the perfect example of a ride or die. They love to glorify that in a lot of hip hop videos because it glorifies, a lot of hip hop unfortunately glorifies dysfunction. You know what I mean? Dysfunctional relationships. Sex out of marriage is heavily glorified. Having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women, heavily glorified. Sex, drugs, hip hop, heavily glorified. So the ride or die lifestyle is heavily promoted. So if you want to skip the ride or die lifestyle, I always say on this channel, save the sex for marriage. You can, you will be surprised, as a woman, how much trouble you save yourself in this life if you just avoid sex out of marriage, if you just date smarter. Just date. That's it. Do not get dressed up. If you are a lady that is sexy beyond comprehension, and there are a lot of women like this on the planet of all races, all sorts, right? If you were one of those women, and you are going on a date and you're just hot as hell from head to toe, everything about you, you're just a seductress on 2 legs, do not put that on full display. What do I mean? Do not go on your dates with your cleavage popping out, with your little teeny weeny shorts with your hips and ass hanging out. That's overkill. Just wear a nice top, that just looks nice. Just wear a nice skirt that stops at your knee. No tight, no really short shorts, no, you could wear your high heels with a nice skirt that stops at your ankles. That looks beautiful. I know you're saying, oh, she wants me to dress like a pilgrim. This is 2025. No, I want you to win at this dating game because I don't know, it's some sort of a game and women are losing miserably. So I want you guys to go on your dates dressing nice. Just fix your hair beautifully, fix your lips, just a tiny bit of makeup to just enhance what you already have. Don't need to be a lot. If you wear lashes, that's fine. Just enhance. Don't overdo it. You wear wigs, great, but make sure it's just simple and beautiful. Everything you put on is just to accentuate what you already have. You don't need to wear anything short and tight. Just keep yourself, minimal. He could see your beauty through just that little minimal rearrangement that you do for yourself. Your wig, curled or straight nicely, whatever. Your eyelash, whatever, your little lip gloss, just your nails nicely simple. Less really is more, but not with clothes. Less adornment, just simple. A simple bag, your heels. You could have on something flashy. Your heels could be flashy or your bag could be flashy, but one thing on you, that's it. There's no need to go half naked. There's no need to have anything popping out. So all he could think about when he looks at you all night is just, oh, I just want to go jump in a bed. No, let him see your beauty in a different way, Let him see it in a way that he has to wonder about the rest. He's like, wow, she's beautiful. And that's it, and the rest he has to kind of wonder about. It's like, wow, I wonder what she looks like underneath the dress because she's so gorgeous. I'm sure everything else is gorgeous, Let him think like that. But when everything is on display, he can't concentrate properly and it's very distracting and it's not in your benefit. And please, for the love of God and yourself, do not go back to his house for anything. Do not let him come to your house. It's just, I'm saying this because we're in such a time where we have no discipline as humans when it comes to sex. Sex is just free flowing. Oh, I like him. Oh my gosh, I feel butterflies. Let's have sex. I'm gonna sleep with him tonight. What's tonight? Oh, the second date. Oh my gosh, no. Don't do that anymore. Just stop. Stop rewarding men for something that they haven't earned. Your sex is valuable, and you have to stop dishing it out just because your hormones jump in, or they say, it's a feminist world nowadays. Women could, do what they want to do as they want to do, and there'll be no repercussion. That's not true. There will be a repercussion. What will it be? You'll lose the guy in the next week or month, because guys are getting sex so easily now that they're not seeing a reason to put in any effort to be with you. And when you sleep with them early, you could end up becoming a ride or die for somebody who doesn't value you the way they're supposed to somebody who's not going to marry you, to somebody who's not going to take you seriously, to somebody who could use and abuse you for whatever they want, because you've entered the ride or die position through sex. So you see, sex is a gateway to self-destruction if done incorrectly, if done at the wrong time. What's the wrong time? Out of marriage. All right. So let's start doing it right. Let's start dating correctly. Let's start saving that valuable, beautiful thing for your husband. If women quit giving sex to men so easily, there will be no more ride or die chicks. It will be my husband and my wife. You understand? In a productive relationship with the proper sex, where you're attached to the right person, it will be no more oh, men don't want to get married. Oh, men are just using me for sex. No, men will get married, but you have to stop giving them the sex freely and easily, so nobody could hook you into the ride or die position, because it's not really a position that you want to be in. Because in a ride or die relationship, the women is on the losing end of the spectrum. You are not a winner if you're a ride or die chick. It's really a loser's position. All right, because usually in the ride or die position, you're just getting taken for a ride, and it could drag out for many years, and you wake up and you're old and you have gotten nothing out of the relationship except used up, meaning emotionally, mentally, physically, by giving birth to a bunch of kids, no husband, no stability, and the guy could leave you for a younger version, and then you heard, oh, he's married. I was here all this time. I remember one time I was watching a clip. It's like a little short of the Steve Harvey show, and there was some ride or die woman on there talking about, oh, her boyfriend left and the boyfriend came back. She was clearly into her 50s. And, she was saying that he left her for a younger person. And Steve Harvey was like, why does a 50-year-old woman need a boyfriend? Clearly, it should have been husband. The short is just a excerpt. Well, you guys know shorts from the full video. And I was like, wow, this is very sad. And you could see from her, from all the spiritual damage that was done through this ride or die relationship, she looked beat up, but it's a spiritual look. You know what I mean? He didn't physically touch her, but she looked like she had been through hell. She looked terrible, worn out, used up, but it's like a spiritual hit. So you got to look beyond the physical to see what I saw, and that was it. He was gone. So you don't want to end up in that predicament. So how do you not get into that situation? No ride or die. Okay, no woman should be riding or dying for anybody. How do you skip that? No sex with anyone. Wait. You could wait until marriage. Guys will wait, but you got to stop rewarding them early for something that they don't deserve. All right. Men will follow our lead if we stop giving them sex. Seriously, they'll become our husbands, and they'll be good to us. They'll treat us properly. But once you start rewarding them early for something that they were not supposed to get, then it goes south, and then they don't treat you well anymore, and they won't see any reason to value you. It's like a psychological thing. It has to go that way, because sex is meant for marriage. So it's not supposed to really work out outside of marriage. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just skip the sex and you could end up with a husband if you so desire to be married, you know? So, yeah, no ride or die because you are only dying to yourself and you're putting yourself last. Women should put themselves first. You have to decide that, you know, I need a husband. I want a husband. That's what you should have. And I'm not going to give anybody who's not my husband my sex. I'm saving it for my husband. I'm not giving anybody any lip service. Nobody's giving you any lip service. I'm just have to clear this up. So you don't give away anything you're not supposed to. All right? Save it. No fingers anywhere. Nothing. Just stop. Cool this stuff down. This is the stuff that's getting you guys in so much trouble and causing so many problems in your life, so many heartbreaks, so many disappointment, so much misery, unnecessary misery. So if we close that beautiful spot that we got, all of your misery will just fade away. You know, if you've been doing that stuff, you will have some misery to deal with, but you know, you will notice how misery will be out of your life, you know, because that your legs, between your legs is the gateway to your misery. I know it sounds weird, but it is, because when you open your legs, you open your heart. All right, it's just the way it is. God put that together in a package. Your sex is mixed up with your love, your mind, will, and emotion. All of it is a package deal. There's no such thing as separating them. They come together. That's why people are so shocked when it's just casual sex and somebody is caught up. It's the way it's designed. People be trying, you know, to separate them, but God already put them. It's a package deal, you know, and most of these packages are in the wrong situations. So no more ride or die, no more going half naked to these dates and jumping into bed with men. You know, the second date, the first week, it don't work out. The man disappears, he ghosts you, you don't hear from him again. Or when he does come back around a few months later, you're in bed with him again, then he's gone again, and it's like a yo-yo nonsense. Your heart is like in a yo-yo position, and then he's gone, then some other man coming in, you jump into bed with him, because this is the norm in the world, especially here in America and surrounding Western countries. This is how it goes. You know, this is how things are done, which is the wrong way, and it's producing all the wrong results in your lives. It's producing a lot of tears and heartaches and disappointment and just misery. All right, and leading to the ride or die lifestyle. You want to put yourself first as a woman. Think about what's best for you. You know, I want the best for myself. If you're riding or dying for some man, you're taking the worst for yourself. The worst. In relationships nowadays, women are getting the worst because of that sex, because they keep giving this sex to these men. So this is how you end up getting the worst all the time. So if you want to get the best and skip the ride or die lifestyle, no sex, no half naked dressing, no jumping into bed, no hanging out in his house fooling around with him till you go almost to the sex. You go almost, and then the next day you're gone all the way. Nope. Cut all that stuff out. Date differently, you know, and something different will happen for you. Okay. If it becomes troublesome or it becomes hard to get married because all the sex out of marriage could make it difficult for you to get married, enter another spiritual problem, take it to the Lord. Pray. Ask God for help, you know, and guidance. And you could overcome this with the help of the Lord. All right. So he says, all those who are weary and heavy laden, cast your burdens upon me and I will give you rest. So my beautiful ladies of the world, I hope this message finds you well. I hope, you know, you get something out of this, you know, to do things a little different so you get a better outcome, you know, and, thank you for tuning in, everyone, because this video is for men too. So please remember, guys, to like, subscribe, share, and talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.